Hey, pleasant good day, everybody. This is going to be the next edition of Crease Talk with Joey B as I talk about other teams' goaltending and their tandems. Of course, another team that we did not mention in the last video was the Toronto Maple Leafs. They did not have any goaltending tandem really this year at all until they brought in Jack Campbell, who actually is a pretty solid career backup. He had a 2.8 this year in 26 games and a 9.04 save, but he, of course, has experience with the King. If that's something they look to keeping him going forward, he would actually be a pretty good backup behind Frederik Andersen. So that's one team I wanted to bring up because being able to rest Freddie Andersen, give him some spells, actually having a backup like Campbell, it would be wise for them to keep him. And of course, a team that also is not in the postseason that actually has a pretty good goaltending tandem going forward is the LA Kings, because the LA Kings have an aging Jonathan Quick who can be a very, very, very good role model. Quick had, I just pulled up his stats, 279 and a 904 this year to Calvin Peterson's 922 and a 264 in 8 games played. The kid came up and showed out, going 5-3. Obviously, that record's because of the team he plays for. Otherwise, he probably could have had a Shesterkin-esque, Merzlikins-esque, Carter Hart-esque start to his career. So, because he did, statistically, he just didn't record-wise. So Cal Pedersen is definitely a guy that is going to be someone to watch out for in this league, especially because he's being mentored by one of the best of our generation in Jonathan Quick. And we, of course, have an interesting team to follow along is going to be what the Blackhawks decide to do. Do you have in this postseason Corey Crawford and Malcolm Subban? Of course, Crawford right now is unable to play, so hopefully he comes back for them, and that makes their tandem matched for people, so they actually have a goalie tandem. Now they really have inexperienced guys and Malcolm Subban. Malcolm Subban's a guy that hasn't been able to figure it out in the NHL yet, hopefully going to Chicago. He does have an above 500 record and average statistics, but he should be a solid backup goalie and better than what he's doing now. So maybe Chicago will be a place he's able to find that, and they can find that perfect platoon there. He's definitely a guy that also might need to step up. This might be the postseason that makes Malcolm Subban if Crawford's not able to go, and then that'll be almost a blessing in disguise for Malcolm. And another team that I wanted to bring up is the Ducks. The Ducks, of course, had aging Ryan Miller and John Gibson. John Gibson's one of the best goalies in the league. Ryan Miller actually came together with that downtrodden team, though, to form a pretty good tandem. He did have a 3-1 in 23 games, but he had a 907. The guy's aging. He battled. He played pretty solid. If you look at highlights, it's just you can't have an aging goaltender with that defense, but they also have Dostal, who's not far away as a goalie prospect, a kid that I really like, so they're going to have a good tandem there with him and Gibson in quick success anyway. I think they might end up hanging on to Ryan Miller just because it makes sense to wait for Dostal to develop, so just keep the older backup and let Gibson do his thing, let Miller do his thing, and go from there. But to wrap out this video, I just had a couple other teams I wanted to address on. Obviously, the Colorado Avalanche are one of them. They have, I think I brought him up on the last one, but Grubauer. They also have Hutchinson, who has some experience. They obviously have Pavel Francois as well, who came onto the scene and just took the league by storm this year. He won 21-7 with a 923 and a 2.41. I mean, the kid was just on another level. Well, he's not really a kid. He's 29. He came up late, but the dude was just on another level. And Gruby's Gruby. Grubauer has experience. He's been in playoffs before. He hasn't played immensely in playoffs, but he's been in them before. And in 36 games, he put together great stats. 916, a 263. That's a very good goalie tandem out there in Colorado, and they're obviously one of the hottest teams heading into the postseason. One that's underrated is actually how good Jake Allen played amazing this year for the Blues. I don't know if everybody... The dude had a 927 save percentage for a 215 goals against in 24 games. to then, of course, help out a second-year pro in Jordan Bennington, who had a great follow-up season to his rookie season. He had a 9.12, a 2.56, and he was 30 and 13. So, and 7 for the overtime losses. So he was fantastic, Bennington himself, and then they were just able to form, him and Allen, the perfect tandem. When Jake Allen's had a couple off years, it was fantastic to get to see a goalie like him, who's been there, done that, had good years, and then all of a sudden just struggled. And it's great to see somebody like him. I'm a fan of his, to come back and play well. But that has been all that I wanted to talk to on this video. I just love talking all things goaltenders. I could go on, but I'm going to keep this at about a 5-minute video. Stay tuned for the next edition of Crease Talk with Joey B, which will be coming out sometime this week. Thank you all. Have a great and pleasant day. This has been Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. Peace out, everybody.